Exactly how he's sideboarded here, but what is special about Tim's deck? Anything?
Yeah, actually. He's playing Wolf Run White, which is an archetype we've seen before, but that deck mostly existed before Thragtusk.
Sure.
So obviously the addition of Thragtusk is in and of itself an interesting update. There's more. He's also added in Restoration Angels.
Okay.
To go with his Titans and Thragtusk.
So the combo.
Yeah, the killer combos. He has the Rampant Growth and Farseeks ×4. He also has 6 Wrath effects in addition to his 2 Elesh Norns, 4 Day of Judgment, and 2 Terminus.
A lot of Wraths.
And even Gideon Jar, which is basically Wrath, because your opponent's creatures, they don't matter anymore.
Yes, for the most part, yes.
For the most part. And among his lands, he has 1 Slayer Stronghold, which I can imagine being a very rude surprise.
I actually forgot that card existed.
For a couple boys and girls on the weekend.
Yeah, I forgot that card existed, actually.
It's a nice one. I've seen Primeval Titan take a Slayer Stronghold before. It's never pretty.
That card's so good and just not played at all, which is a shame.
I anticipate it getting a little more play once Return to Ravnica makes those mana bases a lot easier to construct.
Yeah, and when Gatecrash comes out, Boros, I mean, depending on what the Boros cards are, what the Boros mechanic is, likely to be aggressive, yeah. It'll be interesting to see. That card is just far too good for it to not see anywhere near as much play as it should.
Very much agree. Fires of Yavimaya with a little upside that you have to pay for every turn. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. And you get the option.
Tim is going down to 6 right now.
I don't think his particular version of Wolf Run mulligans as well as others. He has less redundancy in his deck. His mana is fitting in an additional colorless land alongside 4 Glimmer Posts, and he has the 3-color variety. He really needs to hit early green and white, so it's gonna be a little tough.
Yeah, these 3-color versions where you're basically green-white and then you're just splashing for
Wolf Run.
Yeah, basically splashing for Wolf Run. Yeah, it makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to operate.
Yeah.
And you definitely do not mulligan as well. We actually had a green-white one under camera earlier, and he had that problem as well. He had to mulligan to 5 just because his opening hands would not cooperate, and he just got crushed by a Delver deck. As we see Tim again mulligan to 5. Maybe we just shouldn't feature Naya Ramp. Just not a good spot. They mulligan to 5 every time they're on.
Well, just think of it this way. It's going to be all the more exhilarating when he takes the match.
You know, that's interesting. That's the same narrative Pat and I built. And it didn't work.
It didn't work?
Did not work at all.
Man, that's an excellent Punisher cosplay. Not to draw attention. I know you guys can't see it. I'm just saying, it was good. That's credit where it's due.
I've been impressed overall with the cosplay this weekend. It's been very good.
It's high-quality stuff.
We see a force from Tim. We're going to see Iain start for the Glacial Fortress, so at least he's not starting very fast.
It's not going to club him to death instantly.
We see a Plains and no 2-mana ramp. We see a Ponder here from Iain. Iain is basically going to be able to do his thing unmolested and see, basically set up his early to mid-game with no ramping and no real pressure from Tim. He's going to have the time to do what he wants to do. It's just if he's able to find the cards to get everything set up.
Drew a Restoration Angel. He's got a Glimmer Post. All right, he has a Cavern of Souls in his hand as well. This is actually maybe a little bit of a game for him.
As we're going to see a Thought Scour, mill away a Vapor Snag, and a Sword of War and Peace.
Sword of War and Peace.
Which actually looks like it's pretty good here. Gataxian Probe is going to give Iain the information that he's looking for.
I really like Sword of War and Peace against the Elesh Norn decks because it lets you keep a creature alive post Elesh Norn and attack through the Elesh Norn at the same time.
Yeah.
2 Cavern, an Ancient Grudge, and a Restoration Angel.
So he has the lands to operate.
Yeah. If he draws good cards, he's very much in the game. He just needs to draw specifically spells. I imagine, not sure. I imagine we will probably lead with like a Cavern on a Beast or Giant, one of the 2.
We open at 10, but come early to get your tickets.
Probably Giant just on the default, and then play the Angel, since I doubt Iain will hold up a Mana Leak or anything like that, knowing that the Cavern is there.
That's true.
You'll just get a turn where you can cast your Angel for freeze.
And be able to name something else with it. Yeah, I'm okay with that, actually. It only kind of backfires on him if he draws multiple Angels, but I mean, he has the other Cavern if he does, so.
And the fact that it's a flash threat also means it's usually pretty easy to land against Delver if you really try. They tap out during the end step with a Snapcaster or a Thought Scour or something,
Batman's in trouble.
No land, though. And if the Restoration... A Glimmer Post, okay. With the Restoration Angel landing, I assume, right now.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter that much if Delver flips.
Which it does.
It does, so we're going to need more than just a flip to Delver.
We are going to need something here. As Tim is at 23, Tim is Tim is sitting pretty comfortably as we're going to see another ponder. Iain is searching away for lands desperately right now. This game is probably going much worse than Iain expected it to.
He did find a land. There's a glacial fortress in that ponder.
And because there are 2 caverns, every counterspell that Iain finds, and you know he has, I have the deck in front of me, he has 3 mana leaks, and he has a flash freeze and 2 dissipates. They're pretty bad now.
Yep, he has to consider that. One of the nice strengths of the White Wolfrun deck is it does not have to rely on spells for its wrath effects because of Elishnorn. You can actually just resolve a creature through Cavern on Praetor. Makes life real hard for your opponent.
I'm looking to see in Iain's deck list what his outs are against an Elishnorn that does just happen to resolve, and you're not. And the card I'm really looking for is, of course, his Phantasmal Image, and he has 1 in his main and 2 in his sideboard. Yep. So he's actually doing okay against it. I'm not sure if he boarded him in or not. I would be surprised if he didn't, because all the targets here are pretty juicy.
You know what card I'm curious about? I'm kind of curious if he brought in Spectral Flights. He has 2 in his sideboard, and I actually kind of like him in the matchup. They're a nice play when your opponent tries to throw down a stop like Thrag Tusk, and you soar overhead and put your life total discrepancy back where it belongs.
As we see a Vapor Snag from Iain, and an attack with Infantile Aberration.
And a land.
And a land. So he's catching back up a little bit here. Now Tim, for his part, he drew a Crushing Grinds this turn.
I'm going to go ahead and assume we Caverned Angel.
That's probably a good assumption, as we're going to see Snapcaster Mage here bouncing it again.
Yep.
So now we're going to take 4 more. Tim is going to move down to 15.
I don't think I really like the Cavern on Angel, though, because, like, he knew it was in our hand, so it's not like, you know, we're running any tricks here. If that Delver attacks, we can just assume there's something bad's going to happen. And just tapping out on our turn to play the Angel lets us keep a Cavern on a more relevant creature type for when we draw it.
And I believe he named Giant with that Cavern, which he did. And we're going to do a Rampant Growth. We're going to search for a mountain so we can cast the Ancient Grudge.
Yep.
And then we're going to play this little game with Restoration Angel again.
Who knows? Maybe it'll work this time.
I mean, we got another snag, my friend. Snapcaster's not
a lot of spells, man. That's a lot of spells.
Again, keep in mind, I mean, Tim's hand right now is Restoration Angel, Ancient Grudge, and Crushing Vine. So his hand, while not great, can operate, and if he does draw Primeval Titan, this game is very different.
Yep. He's not in that bad shape at all. He can not avoid dying, which is the most important thing.
All right, let's try it again. I'm not going to not cast it. And there's Snapcaster. There's the other snag that he thought scoured away much earlier in the game.
The show is now closed.
So he's going to take 6 and he's going to move to 9.
Thank you so much for making this day such a success.
There's a
Please
forest.
make your way to the exit.
Doesn't really do anything.
We'll be open again.
I think we want to just crush Delver right now.
Attendees,
I think I agree with you.
Sure
We'll have the Ancient Grudge if there's a Pike, and if not, we have our Uncounterable Angel. Yep.
And there's the crush.
Tim arrives at the similar line.
Please make your way to the exits. Thank you.
I don't hate our spot here. I'm still like, we're on low life total. We're in a dangerous position, but
For a mulligan of 5, you can't really hate it. Like,
yeah.
You don't love it because you see Iain over there with, he's playing Delver and he has like 6 cards in his hand. So you don't love the position that you're in, but
now we're in worse shape. That's a good Jataxian Probe, letting him know that he needs to play around an Ancient Grudge. We won't be gaining any tempo from an attempted thwack with our Runeshaner's Pike.
Thank you so much for coming to Stanley's Kamikaze. The show is now closed. Please make your way to the exits. We will be open again tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure you come early to get your tickets. Again, the show is now closed. Please make your way to the exits. Thank you.
Iain has found his 4th land finally. So we're going to see what he can do with it. Plays a mystery card on screen. I think it's a Runeshaner's Pike, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's coming in with a Pike here.
He's playing this as a tempo play, basically. He gets to force in his 4 damage this way because he doesn't have a snag or something else to let him do it. So it's basically playing like a poor man's Vapor Snag.
4, 5, 6. So that Pike is going to be +6.
We're not getting hit by that Pike.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking maybe he was considering, I would Restoration Angel, kill the 2/1. But yeah, you can't, it turns on too many of Iain's cards.
Yeah.
That's going to knock Tim down to 5. Tim searching desperately.
An Elishnorn right now would have been the bee's knees.
I don't think he can cast Elishnorn right now is the problem.
Oh, we don't have another white. You're right. Never mind. Significantly less knees.
exhibitors.
Dismember.
The show is now closed.
Oof.
Thank you again for making today such a success. Please make your way to the exits. Again, the show is now closed. Please make your way to the exits.
I think the only way we can afford to cast Dismember in this game is if our opponent plays Rune Chainer's Pike again this turn. But I doubt that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure we're just slamming like anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're slamming
Creature.
our Restoration Angel.
Like, yeah, like creature.
I'd like to block if you'll let me. Alright, Restoration Angel of his own.
Yep. And now we're in a really bad spot. We're facing down lethal. The handful of spells has come to fruition.
Are there any Titans in our future? Nope.
Wow, we drew a lot of land.
Yeah. I mean, this is the risk that you take when you play a ramp deck, of course. It's just, you don't have any manipulation.
The crowd turns and walks away. It's
wow.
cold.
Yeah.
Oh, more crowd replaced them. Never mind. It's
Attention,
not so bad.
kamikaze attendees and exhibitors. The show is now closed. Thank you again for making Kamikaze such a success. The show is closed. Please make your way towards the exit.
We have Kevin Brown confirmation.
Again, the show is now closed.
One of our loyal Twitter followers pointed out that
please make your
Kevin
way to the
Brown's
exit.
actual Twitter says he is.
We open again at 10 a.m.
Very
tomorrow.
nice.
We'll be open from
As
10
Iain
to 6
Bartolomei
a.m.
is
Make sure you
moving
get
on
here early to get your tickets.
to 7 and
Again,
1.
the show is now closed.
Good fight,
Please
Tim.
make your way
But,
to the exits.
Tim had some chances at some top decks. You know, there are definitely
happen.
some cards that he can draw, but there are more bad draws in this deck than good draws.
Yeah.
You know, between Farseek's Rampant Growths,
Ponders.
lands. You know, there are just a lot. You know, there are a healthy amount of
Yeah,
cards that were just not very good in that situation.